Hi. Hola.
Hi, hier ist Mr. Döse.
This is Michael Bradley.
Hey, I'm Memphis.
Hey.
Hola. Hello.
I'm here with soccer.com.
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 And I'm talking with my friends soccer.com.
See you soon.
Hey guys, Josh from SoccerReviewsForYou.com, bringing you my review plus on-feet video of the Nike Tiempo Legend 6 in the latest Academy Pack colorway. Now inside the box they do include a string bag to go along with the shoes themselves. The string bag is black in color with black strings. It features Volt Yellow Tiempo branding on one side and a Volt Yellow Nike swoosh on the other. Other than that, all you're going to find inside the box, as you guys can see, are the shoes themselves. So we'll get these guys out of the box really quickly and we'll take a closer look at what is a very straightforward but very good looking colorway of the Nike Tiempo Legend 6, the Blackout Academy Pack colorway. Now, the Academy Pack came out originally quite a while ago. It originally included the Superfly 4, the Magista Obra, at the time the Nike Hypervenom Phantom 1, which I believe that was technically the last colorway, and then of course at the time the Nike Tiempo Legend 5. It has restocked twice so far in very limited quantities. The first time around, which was several months ago, they released a blacked out version or an Academy Pack version of the Phantom 2 and the Hypervenom finish. And this time around, where they've restocked again, they now came out with a blackout Academy Pack Nike Tiempo Legend 6. Now, unfortunately, this restock was very limited quantities for every single shoe that they restocked. Restocking shoes is not a normal thing, by the way. If you want a little bit of a video that kind of explains how restocks and just colorway availability works in general, check out the annotation I'll leave on screen to a video where I have talking exactly about that, kind of explaining what you should know if you're a little bit confused on how all of that works. So go ahead and check out that video. But basically, these restocked or came out in very, very limited quantities at a couple of stores. And sold out pretty much instantly. So if you want to get a pair of these for yourself, unfortunately you can't. You can try eBay, buying them from somebody who's reselling them, but expect to pay a little bit over retailer, and always be careful when you go on eBay because you never know, there's lots of counterfeits on there. So unfortunately, if you're looking to get a pair of these for yourself, they aren't available anywhere as of right now. Will they restock again? I would think most likely they will at some point, but I'm not sure if it's one of those colorways that's ever going to be readily available because they seem to sell out every time they release, or re-release I should say, the Academy Pack Blackout colorway. So in this video, we're going to take a closer look at the colorway itself, go over all the details, talk tech specs, performance, take a look at the weight of the shoe, as well as talk about how these things fit and feel on feet. So if you're interested in learning more, please stick around, watch the entire video, and with that being said, let's get right into the review. To start things off, let's take a closer look at the colorway. Now obviously, things are pretty straightforward here. It's pretty much a fully blacked out shoe as far as the upper is concerned. Black leather, black swoosh. The material at the heel is all black. It has the black Tiempo branding as well. You got your blacked out Nike logo on the tongue, black laces, black heel liner, and then you have a pop of Volt Yellow in the insole. And then flipping to the bottom, you can see that it does have translucent studs and kind of a more translucent black outsole that I would say against an actual black color does have a slightly bluish tinge to it. And then of course you do have that pop of Volt Yellow in the Nike swoosh on the right shoe, and then on the left shoe, as you guys can see, it has the Tiempo branding, which is kind of a cool little detail. You're gonna find that on every single Nike Tiempo colorway. It just stands out a lot on this particular colorway just because the entire shoe is black aside from the bottom of the sole plate. So overall, I really like these. Blackout shoes are something that we just don't see often enough anymore. That's mainly because I think a lot of people just prefer something a little bit more colorful, but to the credit of Blackouts, this pack from Nike has sold out pretty much every single time that it's come out, more quickly than any of their other colorway packs. So maybe there is quite a hunger for more blackout shoes. Hopefully we see more in the future, but for the meantime, you're gonna just try and have to get them when they do kind of do these limited edition restocks, if you will. So let me know your thoughts on this colorway down below in the comment section. Do you like how these look? Why or why not? I'm a really big fan. And with that being said, let's move on to the tech specs so we can learn a little bit more about the overall performance. As far as performance is concerned, I'm a huge fan of the Legend 6. For those of you guys that regularly watch my channel, you know that this is my personal favorite shoe at the moment, and it has been for the last couple of months. The main reason for that is, one, I'm a big fan of soft leather, kind of more traditionally styled, simple shoes, which this is. But what takes this over the edge in comparison to, let's say, something like a Copa Mundial or a Nike Premier or other really good leather shoes out there is that there's a couple modern elements that they've incorporated with this high quality kangaroo leather upper that kind of takes this shoe to the next level from a performance standpoint, which of course I'm going to be talking about in this video. Now, if you guys want as much detail as possible on the overall performance, be sure to check out my playtest video. I'll leave an annotation to that on screen. So if you haven't seen it and you want to see these shoes in action, be sure to go ahead and watch that. But basically what you need to know with this shoe is a couple different things. One, the shoe is made from kangaroo leather. So basically from the front of the Nike swoosh forward, the entire midfoot, the forefoot, the toe box area, and then cutting off at this point right here, that is entirely made from very soft, very premium kangaroo leather. In comparison to something like a Copa Mundial, for example, this is definitely a little bit thinner, but still provides that soft, padded, natural sensation that you would expect from a leather shoe. From there back, obviously the shoe is made from synthetic, but it's far enough back to where it doesn't really have any impact on the overall feel. Now the top of the foot, it does have a synthetic tongue with kind of a memory foam base to it, so it matches the thickness of the leather, and despite it being synthetic as opposed to actual leather, it creates a very uniform touch in terms of overall thickness across the entire foot. Not to mention, the shoe does have a one-piece construction as well, so you can see for what are essentially the bottom 4 lace holes on either side, it's actually directly fused to the kangaroo leather on either side. So the midfoot area of the foot can't really open up. This makes for a more snug than average fit from right out of the box. But once you get used to the shoes, once the leather stretches a little bit and they're well broken in, it's extremely comfortable and just makes for a tighter, kind of closer fit to the foot than you would experience from an average kangaroo leather shoe that not necessarily will overstretch, but will stretch perhaps a little bit more than you would like them to. Again, kind of taking away from the responsiveness that you would get from, say, a synthetic model. What's also a really, really important factor, and arguably the most important factor in why the Legend 6 is so good, is this internal skeleton support frame. You can see the texturing here on the surface of the leather. That's actually an internal synthetic material that is fused directly to the back of the leather, in between the leather and the actual liner on the inside, that reinforces the entire leather structure of the upper, which is a really, really good thing. We've seen them use flywire and brio cables to reinforce uppers on synthetic models, and even previous Nike Tiempo Legend models. I'm sure a lot of you guys remember the Legend 4 Elite. But what this particular support frame actually does is you get that extra structure, you get that extra responsiveness, but it doesn't take away from the softness or natural feel of the actual leather. It's still soft, it's still flexible, and while you're just running around and jogging, you don't feel it at all. It just feels like a standard leather shoe. But as soon as you start moving a little bit more quickly, making those quick cuts and changes of direction, you're gonna notice there is a lot of lockdown that you wouldn't expect to have from a shoe that feels as soft and as natural as the Legend 6 does. It's also part of the reason why there's very minimal stitching on the actual leather. All the structure for the leather is coming from that internal support cage. So that is arguably my favorite feature of the Legend 6 and why it is my personal favorite shoe on the market. I just love the combination of having that soft leather feel that offers a more traditional fit, but at the same time, you don't necessarily lose out on responsiveness because of that internal support cage and the one-piece design in general. The upper is also finished off with ACC all conditions control, acting as your wet control element. Small feature, but they do include it. Laces run through the middle, as you guys can see. You have an internal plastic heel counter. Nothing too crazy there. There is a smooth synthetic leather liner on the inside with a decent amount of padding. Pretty good step in comfort overall. Insole, fully removable. It features a synthetic suede liner on top. It's made from a single layer of this yellow foam, and then you're going to find pour-on foam inserts in the heel as well as in the forefoot and big toe area. So overall step in comfort from this insole is above average in terms of underfoot cushioning, mainly due to those pour-on inserts. As far as the outsole is concerned, it's a pretty standard TPU plastic sole plate, definitely on the thinner side, which makes for a very, very flexible feel. And then as far as the stud pattern is concerned, it's kind of classic Tiempo, bladed studs in the heel, conical studs up front, and then of course bladed studs running through the middle. Despite the conical shape to the studs in the forefoot, which looks very traditional, they're actually relatively long for firm ground studs. So they dig into the ground and provide plenty of bite when pushing off in pretty much any direction. And because they're rounded in shape, you still have that freedom to twist and pivot as well. So in terms of overall performance, on firm natural grass, it works extremely well. And of course, with the Nike Tiempo Legend 6, not necessarily this particular colorway, you do have the option of buying a soft ground Pro or artificial grass AG stud pattern, depending on what playing surface you're going to be using the shoes on. But like I said, on firm natural grass, the FG stud pattern definitely does get the job done. In terms of weight, the Legend 6 is actually lighter than you might expect for a shoe in this particular category. So I'm going to weigh this pair for you today in real time using this scale. Keep in mind this is a brand new pair in a size 9.5 US. We're going to throw them on the scale, and you can see that they weigh in at 8.7 ounces, the equivalent of 246 grams. So they're not super light, nothing like a Nike Mercurial Vapor 10, for example, but they're still in the 8-ounce weight range, which is what you can say for most high-end shoes that are out there right now. So again, if you're looking for a shoe that has that soft, traditional leather feel, is also very responsive, fits very comfortably, and at the same time isn't going to weigh you down, the Nike Tiempo Legend 6 is a very solid option. All right, so here is a look at the Academy Pack Legends on feet. On my left foot, I have the stock black laces that come with the shoes. On my right foot, I have a pair of neon yellow reflective SR4U replacement laces. If you're interested in a pair of replacement laces for yourself, the website to go to is www.sr4ulaces.com. Find a direct link to that website down below in the description of this video. Now, in terms of how these things fit and feel on feet, out of the box, they are very comfortable shoes, as you would expect from any shoe with a kangaroo leather upper. The upper is soft, it's flexible, it's pretty non-restrictive, and it will only get softer and more flexible over time. As you wear them more and more, it'll stretch, it'll soften up, and it'll basically mold to the shape of your foot. That's kind of what leather shoes are known to do, and these are no different, despite it having that internal support cage. It doesn't restrict the stretch of the leather, at least to a certain point. They're not going to stretch as significantly as a pair of Copas would, but they're still going to stretch and kind of, for the most part, act like a normal shoe through the break-in process, a normal leather shoe through the break-in process. As far as the fit is concerned, because of the one-piece design of the upper, it does have a slightly tighter fit than you might expect from this style of shoe, but it's not uncomfortably tight. These don't feel like Mercurial Vapors or anything like that, but it definitely does have a more snug fit, especially through the midfoot area, which again, kind of depends on personal preference. They're not super wide, they're not narrow either. It just has kind of a more modern feel as far as soccer cleats go versus something a lot more traditional that would normally have a kangaroo leather upper. The fit though, very, very good. I would say these are going to be suitable for most foot types. If you have really, really wide feet, maybe this one-piece upper may feel a little bit restrictive for you, but for the most part, these are going to be suitable for pretty much anybody as far as width is concerned. In terms of sizing, they run a half size small just like the Magista line. So instead of wearing my usual size 9 US, I bump it up to a 9.5, and the fit and the length is absolutely perfect. So if you are looking to order a pair of these for yourself, I would strongly recommend going a half size up in order to achieve the best possible fit. All right, guys, that is it for my review of the Academy Pack Nike Tiempo Legend 6. If you guys are interested in more info on this shoe, be sure to check out the review page on my website. That'll be the very first link down below in the description of this video. On that page, you'll find the high quality images of this exact pair. That'll give you a better idea as to how they actually do look in person. And of course, you will find buy it now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes, where you'll be able to pick up the Legend 6, not necessarily in this colorway, but the other colorways, below their normal $210 retail price. So again, if you're interested in a pair of Legends, first link down below, go ahead and check it out. If you have any questions at all regarding the Legend 6, leave them down below in the comments, and I definitely will get an answer out to you. If you enjoyed today's video, found it helpful and informative, be sure to support it with a like. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all my social media information linked in the description as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video, and as always, thanks for watching.